Okay, y'all, I am going to go out on a limb here and talk about something that some of you may have heard of. Some of you are going to be like, what in the Sam Hill is she talking about? And this is a thing called muscle testing. It doesn't so much have to do with essential oils. I will tie it back in again. And I'm just going to give you the very, very cursory idea of it. Muscle testing is something that oh gosh, okay. Your body intuitively has this truth. It has this thing that it knows at like a cellular level, okay? So muscle testing they use in a lot of modern therapies. For example, like a person will hold their arm out and then you will ask somebody a question and push down on their arm. And if it's true, your arm stays strong. And if the question is like a negative, your arm will go weak. And it's just this natural, intuitive like muscle reaction. And it's bypassing like talking directly to a person where words have to go in, they have to do this cognitive filtering, they have to think through the solution and come up with an answer. Like it bypasses that. So therapists will use muscle testing to speak directly to that person's body without going through their mind, and just the muscles will just react on their own. Okay, so if a product, for example, that one of the ways that they say to start off with muscle testing is take something in your life, particularly, you know, a product or a food, right? And you hold it to yourself, and when you're standing up, right, and you're just going to be like, is this good for me? You can ask your body. Sounds so crazy. I know it does, but this is really very prevalent in the therapy world. So you can ask your body, is this thing, whatever it is you're holding, is this thing good for me? And then you just wait for a second and your body will either lean in or it will lean out. Okay? So some of these things are self-evident. Like I tried this with a donut one day just because I'm like, yeah, right, muscle testing. Now, obviously my brain knows that a donut is not good for me, right? So, but that was just kind of fun to do. Hold a donut, you know, without getting it on my shirt. And I'm like, is this good for me? And of course my body's like, no, it's not. Well, I already knew that. Cup of coffee. I've always had coffee every morning for years. My husband's a coffee person. Cup of coffee. I'm like, well, coffee, you know, you can see both sides. Like some people like love coffee and there's all kinds of arguments in favor of it. And some people are like, coffee's terrible, you know, whatever. So I was like neutral on coffee. I enjoy it very much myself. I don't know whether it's bad or good for me. Took a cup of coffee and held it to my chest. I was like, is this good for me? And literally my body was like, phew. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like, what? Now, it doesn't mean that it's not good for you. It just means that my body was like, you're done with coffee. And I've gone through a whole process where my body has literally rejected coffee. But that was like my first warning signal of like, something's going on here. Okay. I was like, all right, I'm faking this, right? This isn't legit because, you know, maybe whatever. I made that up. So I got into my shower and I was like, I'm just going to try this on a bunch of stuff. Like I thought it was interesting. Let's test this theory out. And I started trying it with different products, right? And I have, at the time, not everything that I had was Young Living in my house, but I didn't have these chemical laden products. I would go to like Whole Foods and I would buy shampoo and conditioner, you know, whatnot. And I was like, these things are good for me. So obviously my body's going to be like, yeah, you're good. So like I picked up a big bottle of shampoo and I held it right here and I was like, is this good for me? And my body just like almost flew back. And I was like, that's really weird because I'm pretty sure it is. Let's try it again. Is this good for me? Nothing. Okay. I don't know whether it is or isn't, but that's the answer I got. So this all sounds like totally crazy and hocus pocus. I get it. And it's still very interesting to me until I bring it to the essential oils realm. Okay. So here's where it ties in. There are times when, we already talked in our last video about when you utterly just reject an oil and you're like, ew, that stinks, get it away from me. I hate it, like with this strong hatred, right? There are going to be oils like that. And we talked, and if you haven't watched the video, go back and watch it because we talked about like scientifically, biologically, why that could very much be the case that you need that oil because of the toxins in your body that have basically hijacked your body's communication system saying, no, get that invader out of here, when really they're the invader, right? Okay, but the same can be true when you are just like, whoa, I want this oil, I need this oil, get it on me, put it in, I want to swim. Like me, I have Stress Away on the shelf. Like Stress Away is my like oil that I always say, like, I want to live in that bottle. Like literally, I just want to dive in and just like live and just melt myself into that bottle. I love it. I need it. And so when you're craving an oil or an aromatic scent, remember these things go into our nose and they hit our cellular receptor sites and the molecules there, and it goes straight up into the emotional center of our brain, everything that we smell. It doesn't go through all of this cognitive processing that our sight and our hearing and our taste and our touch, all that goes through cognitive processing. No, our sense of smell goes straight to our emotional center of our brain. straight there with no processing whatsoever. So if you smell an oil and you're like, bah, or you smell an oil and you're like, yes, I love this, there could very well be a reason. It's like holding an oil to yourself and saying, is this good for me? Right? Your body is going to say yes or no. It's not. So you will naturally gravitate to certain oils that your body wants. It's not that you up here want it, because you may think, oh man, I love lavender, I love lavender. And you go stand at your oil shelf for what you're going to diffuse, and then you're going to like grab something completely different. You're like, that's weird. It's because your body is, I mean, as long as you know what is in the bottle. I have, confession, a couple of bottles on my shelf that I'm not exactly certain what's in them or what they smell like, because I maybe got them for free on Essential Rewards and I just haven't explored them yet. But a lot of the oils I do know. So I'll be like, oh, lavender, I love lavender. And all of a sudden I'm grabbing peppermint and I'm like, that's weird, because I wasn't thinking peppermint, but my body was just wanting it, right, for some reason. So there's more going on there than meets the eye, and I can't even begin to explain it all to you. Just know that this is like a version of muscle testing. It's your body wanting something that your cognitive brain isn't able to recognize at that point in time. And this is something that they are using more and more and more in therapy today, which is, again, like aromatherapy, right? Your body will gravitate to something that it needs for some reason. It could be that it needs some form of stimulation. It could be that it needs some sort of like respiratory support. It could be whatever it is that your body is needing. It knows, even if your brain doesn't know. Your brain is cluttered with so many thoughts and ideas and all these different things going around. So sometimes what you think you need is not what your body really wants. So trust yourself. You know, I'm not saying you have to take every oil and be like, is this the oil? Yes or no? You know, sure, try it out, see if it works. But generally, intuitively, you will gravitate to something that is going to be what you need, you know? And then what's really cool is that a lot of people have kind of studied on this, and then they've gotten themselves like a bioimpedance scanner, like an Atovi scanner, where you put there's like these little nodules, and it just measures the bioimpedance in your body, and it can tell you exactly what oils your body is wanting. And 9 out of 10 times, or I should say 9.9 out of 10 times, it matches up with exactly what your natural intuition is. When you're standing in front of a bunch of oils, to be like, I think I want that one, and you're not sure why, to go do yourself an Atovi scanner, and it'll be like, boop, guess what? It's the oil that you're holding in your hand. It's really cool. So there's more going on there than we're even cognitively aware of. I know this sounds like voodoo magic. It's not, I promise. There's science behind it, but it's also kind of a mystery. They're only just starting to unravel. So there you go. Why do you love an oil and why do you hate an oil? It's kind of a mystery, but we're learning.